Welcome back to Project Brupeg. Damien and Robin were exhausted after the big push to get Brupeg painted. You can see the grey there on the doors. That's the grey that Brupeg is going to stay. The unicorns, beside Damien, are heading with Adrian south to his grandkids.
We're a Kiwi couple living in Australia who brought a 57-foot steel trawler after she sunk in a flood and was pulled from the sea. We're now bringing her back to life. We're on to the finishing jobs after working on her for the last 6 years to refit and get her ready for launch as soon as possible. Brupeg is rebuilt by us with volunteers funded by Patreons and viewers, and we spend every cent we have to make sure that she's ready. She's fueled by veggie oil, diesel, solar and wind power to do research, projects and expeditions to remote places like Antarctica and the Northwest Passage. She'll be crewed by supporters from around the world. Welcome aboard.
Last episode we got the undercoat on. This episode's all about the top coat. What was happening with the... You were saying something separated this morning?
Oh, the gun cleaner actually doesn't eat into the paint. It's actually, it'll make it loose, but it won't cut into it.
Right.
So yeah, it's just, whatever the paint is good. Hey Dame, have you got any other nozzles for this gun?
Not for that gun, but I've got a different gun that you can use that has a 2.5 and a 1.8.
What's this one got in? What's this, 3 or something?
3.5. That gun.
Probably might find you.
That's 3.5, that one. Here we go. So up. So air spray, thinner is up to 10%.
Yep.
Nozzle. Oh, 1.8 to 2.
2. So you might be better.
So let's swap it out.
Pull it out. Put a 2mm nozzle in.
Yeah. All right.
Much better control.
Alright,
and also your paint volume coming out, you know what I mean? You'll get better longevity out of your paint pot.
Yep. And there's a 2.
Yep.
Oh, 2.5 that one is.
Well, that's alright. Well, 2.5 is a little bit bigger, but it's a lot smaller than what you got. 1.8.
I think it's too small, isn't it?
1.8 will be too, I think will be too small.
Alright,
sure.
So we'll go with this guy.
Yep.
This is one of those packets that you need a flippin' jaws of life to get into. So with a spray gun, you basically have different size jets to allow different amounts of paint to come out. And essentially what that is, if you can see in there, there's a hole in the centre. This is the jet. There's a hole in the centre there, and this is a needle. So needle, and this is a seat. And the needle basically goes in and out like that. As you pull a trigger, the needle comes back, and as you let go of the trigger, and essentially what it does is it opens and closes that hole at the front there, and just allows paint to flow past that that essentially needle and seat valve. What we've found is this paint is set up for 1.8mm to 2mm nozzle size. This is a 2.5mm. So we're going slightly bigger than what they recommend, but we were spraying yesterday with a 3.5mm, so we were hosing it on yesterday with a big valve. We're backing it off, putting a different gun on, backing it off to a 2.5 so that we can sort of get a bit more control with our spray.
Yeah, get a better fan, you'll be able to control your fan much better, and
And what does that mean?
Well, you get a better, you'll get a better coverage when you're moving, you'll get less paint consumption, but you'll actually, the paint will come out at the right velocities too, not just coming in and going.
Yeah. So
you won't need as much air pressure, you'll need a little bit less air pressure.
When you spray, you basically, the paint comes firing out here, and then the shape, this is the end of the gun, it sticks on the end of the nozzle like that, and air gets squirted through that hole and that hole there, and essentially what it does is it squashes what was going to be a straight line of paint and air coming out. It squashes it and turns it into a wide fan. And so when that's on the gun, like when it's sitting on the gun like that, it squashes it top and bottom, so you end up with a horizontal fan, or you can turn that and squash it side to side and end up with a vertical fan. So you basically, I'll just tighten that up. When you have it like that and you've got a vertical fan, you can go side to side, and you end up with like a sort of a triangle shaped spray coming out that should be quite even. And if you overlap it 50% every time you spray, you should get a pretty much a uniform coverage of paint. If this is not working properly, it comes out more just like hosing with a garden hose almost. It comes out as sort of like a torch.
So it really changes your level of colour coverage.
Yeah, well, if this isn't working properly, you literally can't get a good paint job, because you end up with thin bits and way too thick. So you'll have all these lines, like thin lines, thick lines, thin lines, thick lines, right across where you painted. That's why you have to have the fan working properly.
But it's also technique, right?
Oh yeah, 100%. There's 3 or 4 things you've got to balance at the same time. The gun has to have the right equipment in it to get the right amount of paint out onto the boat. You have to have your settings right so that the fan and everything, the paint amount is correct, and then you have to have your technique right so that you're not getting high-low bits or too much paint, not enough paint, etc.
Because it's one of the things is, you guys make it look like it's easy, but when you're learning, it's not easy to get that technique.
The hardest part is knowing how to do the settings right. The technique's not really that complicated. It's just practice. You just got to keep. The more you paint, the better you get at it. But the actual settings, if you don't know about the settings, and I don't know about the settings because I've not done enough spray painting to really know. And that's where Adrian's expertise is bloody awesome, because he can watch it and know, oh, I need more of this.
And he did last night.
Yeah,
I could see him saying, no, it needs thinners, or it needs, you need to slow down, or
need
there's
more
too much
air, or you
stir.
need more paint, or whatever, So if you're doing like any spray painting, whatever, like give it a go. I mean, spray paint guns are cheap. You buy them off eBay for $40, and for home handyman stuff, they work perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with it. And there's lots of different types you can get. You can get guns that have a pot on top that gravity feed. You can get guns like this one that have a pot underneath that is what's called a pressure pot. If you're doing big volume stuff, you can get a pressure pot system like our one over there, which holds 10 litres at a time. And the beauty of that thing over there is the gun's light. You don't have the weight of paint above the gun or the weight of the bottle underneath or anything like that. So the gun itself's quite light, but you still have a big volume of paint. We need to thin down this paint with spraying thinners, so we've used a clean 600ml water bottle. We need to put in 3 water bottles to get the right ratio. Here I'm just using a bit of gun cleaner to wipe out any residue inside the paint pot.
And the top coat goes on.
Do you miss me at all? Do you think about the things we used to do? No, you couldn't stand tall. So why didn't you call? So many years has gone by, but I think about you all the time. Looks like you're changing and all, but why didn't you call? Something in the air, always something in the air.
As far as gifts go in the Australian summer, a Cummins beanie is right up there with some of the things that really make painting, you know, a breeze. I'd just like to take this opportunity to thank Adrian for such an appropriate painting beanie. It pretty much overheated the cockles of my heart, but you know, that's what friends are for.
Can you feel me? Can you feel me? Do you miss me at all? Do you think about the things we used to do? No, you couldn't stand tall, so why didn't you call? So many years has gone by, but I think about you all the time. Looks like you're changing and all, but why didn't you call? Something in the air, always something in the air. Inexplicable, I can feel it in the air. Can you feel me? Can you feel me?
may be wondering why we're painting our boat dark. It's an unusual thing to be doing. Usually your cabin's white. It helps with the heat from the sun. The main reason is we like it. The secondary reason is that it's really good in cold weather. It's keep us warmer. But remember, even in the subtropics or tropics, we have a huge amount of insulation going in this boat. That with lots of air conditioning, ventilation, jumping over the side, just swim in the morning, we'll be fine. We'll stay cool enough. You'll notice that Damien's painting over the windows. Don't fret, this is just a piece of plastic we put in a few years ago to protect us from bugs and to keep the boat secure. We'll be replacing it with the proper windows at some point when we're floating around in the water. It's a job that can be done out of the yard.
Stay true to what's right for you, no matter who or know what.
Do you want to see that again? I want to see it again. Here it is.
Who or know what will others say? Just find your way and try to stay true.
If you didn't know it already, Damien's quite determined, and when we're on a timeline, we do whatever we have to do. Here you can see the conditions Damien's painting, and it turned out really great. Hardly any drips. It's pretty amazing. You okay? You alright?
Speak low, stand in your row, try not to show, this life's a show, try not to glow, way down below, it's a lot of woe, and that's not a place where you would like to go. My hand grenades fuse, baby don't refuse, not true, but it's up to you not to choose. I want you to stay true to what's right for you, no matter.
Here he comes.
Welcome the glorious hero home, home to the land that bore him, and o'er the path before him. And all the path before him now flowers and laurels blink.
That sounded Russian.
That was awesome. Congratulations.
Oh, sorry.
It's done. Boat's painted.
First top coat.
One more tub of that colour.
Yeah.
I've still got half a can of that. Oh, yeah, I'm done.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that's too much, eh?
I'm going to dump it in that.
The rest of it's in the fridge, is it?
Yeah, the rest of it's in the fridge. I just don't know if it will last long enough to use it again, though.
It's a shame, isn't it?
I know.
But tomorrow mix half.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah, that means we've got left over, right?
Yeah.
You didn't get your moisture out of the gun that time, Damien?
No, it's really good.
Do you want spray?
I've got too much liquid on. I think they're sliding off me.
Alrighty.
Is there water?
Yep, hang on a sec.
Done. First coat on the boat, we used 20 litres of paint, and that was on the high build primer. When I mixed the top coat up, I did the same. I mixed 20 litres up thinking that we'd use 20 litres over the whole boat and everything, but we only actually used 10 litres because it's much thinner. And you thin it down more, you thin it down like 20 to 25% because we're air spraying. So we only actually used half the can. This is fully mixed, but it's only half, there's this much paint still in it. So what we're doing is basically, this has been in the fridge all night so that it doesn't catalyse very much.
And how do you know that it's usable? You're saying that if it's gluggy and thick this morning, you'd know it was off?
Yeah, a couple of tests. First off, can we spin it around with the drill? Easy. Yeah. So it spins fine. So now we need to get it thin enough that we can use the spray it through the gun. So now we're going to add some more thinners. We'll put another litre in. That'll take it. Well, I don't know what the percentage is anymore because we kind of farted around with it a bit too much, but
Is that technical?
yeah. But we're going to put a litre of thinners in and basically just thin it back up, and then see if we can get it to come out the gun nicely. And if it comes out the gun nicely, then it'll set.
So why try to save this?
Because it's hundreds of dollars of paint.
How much is this one?
I can't remember how much this one is individually.
300?
So probably $300 worth of paint, maybe.
This tin, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's worth trying.
Yeah, it's worth trying.
Oh mate, what have you done to the paint?
Oh, you should have had a lot more done by now.
The right colour, it's not as if it's white paint, so it's going to
Yeah, I think you're right.
contrast it.
Still seems a bit thick, eh?
It'll be right. We'll just see how it goes.
Yeah.
If it feels not right, put some more thinners in, you've got room.
It's just not quite thin enough.
Yeah.
Better. Ah, there we go.
I wanna jump around when I think about yesterday. Your smile, your style so fly, my oh my. As time stood still, I got the urge to steal a kiss, and so I did. Now I'm embarrassed, but just
Judge me by my thighs.
It's supposed to be size, but
Oh, I was in my head. I was like, I know I'm tired, but fuck, I'm sure I missed something there.
What are you going to?
6 on the 6. Oh, is it?
Can you imagine?
Okay, you're in the air now, so you should be able to drop it down 10.
Hang on, I'm going to give it a little bit of slack.
Ready? Coming down. So just,
Okay, we'll just get to the edge.
Yeah, that's right.
here it goes.
Lovely. All right.
Leave that on there.
So ease your end down, guys, and I'll get it down.
Hang on, I'll try and take that away. Don't touch on there. I'll just keep it out so it's off the lip.
Yeah.
You guys right there, ease down?
Yeah, it's coming.
Yeah. Yeah, you're clear here, you good? You good?
Right, we're running out of sling.
How far you guys got?
Yeah, we've got another foot maybe.
You got a foot? No, you got half a foot of ground. Okay, drop it down, Adrian. Yep. Eventually I'll roll the wings because they're all underwater anyhow, so the finished quality is irrelevant. I just need lots and lots of paint, so roll's good for me.
Thank you, Robin, for all your tireless work on this build. It's been amazing, an amazing company, so knowledgeable and friendly and helpful, just extraordinary. Thank you. We're so lucky to have had your help.
So my name is Robin Hilliard. I like long walks on the beach. So I was actually a subscribed to Stu's channel, and Stu came up and visited you 2 years back or so, and so I found out about Brupeg and thought, you know, that's a lovely boat and that's lovely people, and I had a few attempts to come up here and volunteer, and I realised, you know, to all of the patrons and people out there who'd love to come and help, you know, I'm just like you. I just wanted to come and help the guys get on the water as soon as possible, and so I had a false start last year. Got cancelled due to COVID, sent up a pack of beer instead while Stu was here, and that was when Stu started last time. It's interesting, like the main thing you notice is that I realise that I always watch the videos when I'm sitting in my nice air-conditioned office in a comfy Herman Miller chair or whatever it is, and so the main thing when you come here for real is the heat, you know, and just like, and how the montages don't go past as quickly as they do on the videos, and there's so much stuff that you like. I mean, it's even though you get so much footage here, there's so much more that's happening here that isn't actually filmed, and there's so much work. And I just came here and I just said to Jess and Dame that I just wanted to make sure that if I came up for the week, or I've been a bit longer than a week, that I'd that I'd come back and it would have been worth the effort of housing me and having me here, that you'd actually be ahead. And I think I've done that. We've done a...
Oh yes, he has.
Yeah, and I'm super lucky to be able to come here, especially, and we had Adrian and Stu here as well, and and I'm a patron of Stu's channel as well, and I love watching Adrian and Stu's videos and things like that. So to have everybody here and to be able to join them in has just been absolutely fantastic, and I really appreciate that I'm lucky, and I know lots of you out there would love to have been able to do this. If you ever get a chance to, it's fantastic. Hopefully when they're travelling around you'll get a chance to come on board and meet people, but it's it's a great project. I'm really happy to have been able to spend some time here helping you guys out.
Oh, thank you. My goodness, it's been amazing. We've got through so much and it's been so much fun.
Love strong, just like a love song, baby, it's haunting me. Don't know what you're thinking, it's like I'm sinking deep underwater. Maybe it's harder for me. Oh, harder for me. Maybe we're over it, or maybe just lovers, 'cause under the covers, baby, you're showing me how to be fearless, so no one can hear us. You're throwing the pillars to the floor. Now put your loving on me, eh, loving on me.